Hello.
Welcome to a very special episode of Word Up. It's special because we just discovered something special,
so
isn't it?
weird after all of these episodes.
All of these episodes.
So we were just talking about, like different star signs and how all of us,
all that hokum.
Bronagh, Sean and I are all water signs.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean and I discovered that we have the same birthday.
Birthday twins.
16th of November, if anybody wants to get us a wee treat.
We have to do a very special birthday episode.
Yeah, we'll have to do a joint birthday.
Have a wee joint birthday. That's mad.
That is amazing.
Crazy.
And also, we were talking about superstitions and spooky stuff. So if you're watching now and you want to have a bit of input, Halloween's coming up, spooky season's coming up, and we want to do like a special episode on superstitions.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any weird superstitions or little idiosyncrasies, there's a word we could do that word.
Do the word.
That things that you do, that other people find
Like
weird, or you need to do it. Like it's a wee ritual for you.
A wee thing.
Yes. And speaking of which, that feeds nicely into if you're watching this now on Saturday. I don't even know if I want to plug this because I don't know what way it's going to be. My little short film that I wrote is now available on iPlayer.
The film What I Wrote.
What I Wrote. It's only a wee short. It's about 5 minutes. It's called Lightbulb Moment. It's about OCD. I haven't watched it from start to finish, so I'm not sure how it looks. I don't know if it's gonna be funny, if it's gonna come across.
It's always gonna be. Things are always gonna be like a product of all the different hands that are working on it.
Yeah. Because the way that I wrote it, obviously, it's not going to end up like that, and I think that I'm really fat in it as well. So, but that's okay. That's fine. I still am. But yes, if you fancy looking for that, go on iPlayer and search Lightbulb Moment. There's other comedians have their little shorts being released this week, but we don't give a fuck about them. I'm just plugging mine.
Absolutely.
So yes,
they've probably plugged theirs already. So
all day long. Plug it up your hole. So yes, let us know if you are not already subscribing to the Patreon. Please consider subscribing to the Patreon, the Patreon, to keep the lights on
for as little as £1.
As little as a quid.
A pound. A pound would fall out of your pocket and down your settee.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could get short change at McDonald's like
and not
I
even
did.
notice.
No. We used to have my cousin used to have. She talked about just had a wee memoir involuntary there, a wee involuntary memory that we're talking about. You like a wee thing that just sparks off a memory you haven't thought about. in ages.
Yes, I know. I love that. We actually have used that quite a lot now.
Memoir involuntary, and a great aunt of mine, and she and her family had a bar in Lurgan. It was called Ralph's, but it was called the Castle Park Inn, and before that it was called. It was called the Dolphin Inn. I think it was called the Dolphin Bar, the Dolphin Inn before that, back in the 70s. So Lurgan people, if you remember.
The Dolphin Inn, blow it out your hole. I don't know why that's...
It was called the Dolphin Inn, and then the wee place that they had the dancing was called Neptune's.
Oh.
And then as time went on, it then became the Castle Park Inn because it was right next to the gates of Lurgan Castle, Lurgan Park.
Right.
But people from Lurgan understand we call it the castle, but it's not a castle. It's Brownlow House. But if somebody says to you, go get a wee coffee up a castle,
you know what they're talking about.
So my granddad would have done the cleaning, before they opened the bar.
Scrubber!
Absolutely. Grifter.
Yeah.
We went in and we would go and we would help them. So like school holidays, we would go in and help them.
Yeah.
And me and my middle brother would go and we would put our hands down all the seats.
To get
and
the
we would have
pounds.
come pound coins. People, do you like back in the day? Nowadays you probably wouldn't find it because people don't carry cash.
That's true.
But people were going around with big pockets full of change.
Yeah.
And it was falling into the thing. And so do those pub seats?
Yes,
where
and you can pull it out.
Aye.
Yeah,
clean underneath it. So we'll hoover underneath.
Aye, hoover up all the pounds.
And we would go
Loving life.
There's times we were coming away from that with 30 or 40 in pound coins.
Oh my God.
And imagine 30 and 40 in the
That's
early
like
90s.
fucking, you could buy a house for it.
We were minted.
Yeah.
We were minted. We thought we were class.
My God.
Straight down to Extravision to get like 4 videos and loads of sun-kissed popcorn.
Do you know, I used to love that. See, just the feeling. I get this feeling now as well in libraries. But, do you remember starting an Extravision on a Friday night and the possibilities were endless?
What could you
And you'd go,
get?
and then you would pick up, you'd finally decide on a film and you'd bring the box up and then they would say, we don't have that in. somebody has
Why be the box set then?
Nah, you fucking bastard. But
Why be the box set?
it used to be, it was the best feeling, just to be like, and there was a certain smell in an extra vision. It was almost like popcorny.
It was cinema.
Yeah, cinema.
Because I love this. I love going to the cinema. I love the whole, and I felt like going to we called it Extravision, or we called it the tape shop, because there was Extravision in Lurgan. There was Extravision, which used to be called Premier. Before it all became like a chain.
Yeah.
So the one, it was called Premier.
Yeah.
And that was on. People in Lurgan again. I'm having a lot of conversations with Lurganites. People in Lurgan remind me, is that High Street? I think that's High Street. Because High Street then leads on to Market Street. I
just think it's a lost art now. Like, there's so much stuff that takes us away from human interaction. So you don't need to go to the shops. You don't even need to go to the library, because I do have this app called Libby. But even I'm thinking of this. There's a movie, that one with Tom Hardy, obviously, and it's This Means War, and Reese Witherspoon, and they have
yes.
So she has a
such
meet
a
cute.
not Tom Hardy movie.
Exactly, I like that. He plays but there's a meet cute moment in it where she's in a DVD place, flipping through DVDs, and then she meets this guy. And also, speaking of meet cute, there, the movie The Holiday with Cameron Diaz,
I love
and
that
she
film.
goes to to the DVD shop with Jack Black,
and they're picking,
and he's singing all of the theme songs. So you don't get that anymore. Like, do you remember going to HMV and just standing for ages, like looking through, going to the wee pillars and listening to the music?
I worked for HMV. That was one of my favourite part-time
Which one?
jobs.
The one in the town?
I worked for the one in Stirling.
Oh.
In the Thistle Centre in Stirling. I worked in the Thistle Centre. I don't know. Is anybody?
It was a cool job to work in HMV, wasn't it? It was
I had worked in Gap before that. And where HMV used to be a Baby Gap. And Baby Gap was closed, it's so boring, was closed down. And I was like, I can't work in this place anymore, because they gave us new managers, and the two new managers were wick.
Dickheads.
Absolutely shitty. So I was like, I can't. What am I going to find? Oh, fuck, HMV.
Yeah.
So I went home, and I was like, I'm going to find the number of HMV. They're opening an HMV, so they'll need staff. So I phoned them, and today is the last day for accepting.
Oh. So you're supposed to work there.
I was meant to work.
I always used to go in there and think, especially on the way to uni and stuff, whenever I had to go down to Blinkers to get a taxi outside Blinkers, you walk past HMV. And I remember whenever my student loan would come in, I would be into HMV to get, and obviously there was this whole thing as well. Whenever I went to Derry, do you remember you always wanted a cool poster for your wall?
You got free for a tenner.
Yes, you'd go through all the posters. I used to have this class in uni, this class Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon poster. I just had a memoir in volunteer. I had this poster and I loved it for ages, and I went on my student loan day to get it, and it's all these women sitting lined up, naked with their backs,
all
and
the
their backs are all painted with all the different
of all the different shapes of women.
covers.
You can see their bums.
And so there's a black woman, and she has the Dark Side of the Moon prism painted on her back. It was really cool, but that was one of those things. You used to say in uni as well, we used to have this shorthand for I don't know what it was, before Netflix and chill. It used to be, do you want to come and see this? I have this really cool poster in my room, and this album. Do you want to maybe see? Come on with my room with me. I get this CD.
Come to my room and see my coin collection.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, here.
Get your £10 note out.
Show us. Do you remember the £5 coins?
They were always
mania over them.
But do you remember they were did you ever buy anything with a £5 coin?
I actually did buy something with a £5 coin because I was desperate one day, and I'll never forget it, because my ma went through this thing of collecting them. She had to have she has a Princess Diana £5 coin, and
that's so fun. People who aren't necessarily royalists still love Princess Diana.
What is the crack? I know, that's it. That's why they fucking hated
Princess
her.
Diana.
Because when she left, everybody was like, "Great, I'm taking my fans with me." But
she's like a hairdresser who taking her clients with her.
I'm taking my client list.
I'm taking my clients with me. She has to go fuck yourself.
I'm only fucking renting a chair here.
And I'm opening a salon across the road so you can kiss my ass.
Fuck yous. I'll undercut yous all too.
Cut your hairs all for free, and I'll stand across the road like that there.
Ta-da! That was Princess Diana in the back of Doty's limo. Fuck you, Charles.
Shut up.
So I spent a £5 coin. I had it, and it was burning a hole in my fucking pocket one, and I was skint.
Although, can I just say, like, did you spend one of your mommy's £5 coins?
It might have been.
Did you
I
go
brought it
into
over
your
to
mommy?
the shop, and do you know something? I brought it over to the Spar in Lenadoon, and I remember saying to them, "Can I spend this £5 coin here? Because I've only got a £5 coin." And the woman that worked was like, "Yeah, of course you can." But I think clearly she's went,
She
"I
wanted
fucking
it.
put a fiver and I'll keep the £5."
Oh, aye.
That must have been what happened. But she was like, "Yeah, you can spend the £5."
It was legal
coins."
tender.
It was legal. That's legal tender.
That's
It was
legal
easier to
tender.
spend a £5 coin than it was to spend an Irish £5
bank
note
of-
in fucking London.
A Bank of Ireland. There we go.
Aye.
What's this?
Whenever I was in Butland there, they were all going, whenever you walked to the bar, because we had brought cash with us because we were saving. But they had a really lovely reaction to it. They didn't like look at us dubiously, but they were like, "Wow, it's so fucking cool." You know, like you have this on it.
We
you
had the
have
polymer notes. Do you remember, like, the bank? Remember, like, Ulster Bank? Not Ulster. What was Danske Bank before it was Danske Bank?
Northern Bank.
Northern Bank
Bank.
before it was robbed.
It had the polymer notes ages ago. Do you remember?
Yes, it had the polymer fivers.
with the see-through
Yes.
mirror window in it.
Because Australia's always had those. I remember watching Home and Away and being like, "Look at their fucking money."
I don't
always
like
remember
it.
Had like pink, but it slips out of your pocket and all. But
And if you keep it in your bra, it's all sweaty.
do you remember I remember a friend of mine.
Sweaty tit sweat.
I
ditty
love.
sweat.
There's actually a shop that says
Is it chippy?
yes, and it
Not
says
accepting bra money.
will not accept any money. It's been put in your bra.
I have
Imagine,
seen that.
Imagine that. Like.
But I get that. I mean, like, that sweetheart, that's damp, and I know it's damp because that's from your ditty sweat.
A friend of mine, Cara, used to work in the the bookies, and she said you would get all sorts, but the worst was some fellas would come in and it was just a rolled up note.
Oh, why? You know, right?
And
Like,
pull it open and like all this white shit would fall out and it'd be like, and she'd be like, "I'm not fucking taking that. That's been up your nose as well."
that's not asbestos.
Yeah. As well as you'd probably be like,
When I,
"That's your
when-
bet done." I've just done everybody's bets.
What do you want? What do you want from the shop?
Yeah. Here, no, fuck a horse, I'll run. I'll get them.
See him running down.
Yeah.
You know me. He's running down. All the wee jockeys are going,
Yeah.
"What's going on here?"
What the fuck? And it's like, yeah. Never mind the fucking horse. Sean Graham's won the race.
Red rum, red rum.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the horses falls and it's about to get put down with the injection. And he goes, "You're fucking stick that into me."
Aye, yeah. And Colombian Dandruff has won the race. Fucking gig.
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Lescovar. I know. Do you know the dead used to dope horses with cocaine mixtures? They used to. Nay.
Yay.
Apparently that was a thing with doping, like back.
So horses were going to say, "Nobody will tell you." No, but listen, wait till I tell you. They're
here.
going to tell you a thing.
The horse. Do you know whenever you see all that white foam in their mouth, that's just because they're fucking off it. They're
Sparkled
dying
off
for a
their
drink.
fucking hoofs.
Do you know what? I just really feel a connection with you.
No, do you want to come on? Do you want to dance? I feel like dancing. Come on,
Yeah.
we'll dance. I love this song. Come on.
That's dressage. What do you call that? Princess fucking Anne? Dressage. Like,
Look at
oh.
there. No,
Yeah.
get off Princess Anne and actually get on the horse. Come on,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. God love her.
In fairness, you could mistake her.
Go and give
for the
Princess
horse.
Anne her favourite snack. What's that? A sugar cube?
Hey, the turn.
Don't snap. Don't snap.
We're bad.
That's terrible.
That's
Do you know
awful.
what? Saying that, I know we've got like a pure tangent ADHD.
I love it.
There's something about Princess Anne that I quite love because, do you remember there's a story about her and there was the guy who jumped into her like royal car and was going to like kidnap her.
Oh, really?
And she went, "Not bloody likely." And she
Oh, and
kicked him
he
out of
went,
the thing.
Anne? Oh, sorry, wrong princess. I was looking for Diana.
Anne, sorry, I didn't realise it jumped into the horse cot.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're going to get totally, what I call it, the royals are going to...
Yeah, see.
Do you remember whenever Andrew did that interview about like I don't sweat?
Oh, yeah, and he's sweating like a fucking
He
hero.
sweat like a fucking...
Yeah.
But,
Priest in a playground.
but then
Dyslexia going
Jennifer
countdown.
Saunders was like, what was it that tweet was like at their commiserations to the Queen on the assassination of her son next year. Because
Yes. Sorry, Princess Anne, what did she do when someone jumped in her car?
So she went, he was like, "Oh, come off me," and she went, "Not bloody likely," and
Did
she
she?
kicked him out of the car and like saved herself.
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
and like, saved herself, which, you know.
That doesn't surprise me.
That sounds like an EastEnders
the
episode.
entitlement thing.
Not bloody likely.
Not bloody likely.
Queen Vic, that's my great granny.
Yeah. Get out my family.
Get out my car!
Yeah.
No one messes with the Saxa Coburg. I mean, the Windsors.
Yeah. Woo, motherfucker.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't become a bit of a princess. I became a princess.
Fucking total princess.
you're not my father. No, I'm not. James Hewitt is.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. And a completely unrelated. No, Prince Harry looks very like his mother's friend, James Hewitt.
But if
Doesn't
you
he?
look at pictures,
Oh, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Now I'm here as boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Both of us all forgetting the way the way the
God.
I was
royal.
actually going to do Britannia.
I was
Oh,
going
right,
to
yes.
God, dun 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 dun. God save us.
Weird taste.
Gracious gender non-conforming sovereign.
Yes. Oh fuck!
But,
But
yeah.
you splice a clip of I didn't just become
A little bit of a
little
princess.
bit. Yeah, you need to put that in there.
That's brilliant. I love
Yeah.
that.
I
always-
would watch that. Yeah, the royals. Like,
That's what the crown should have been.
yeah.
It should have just
I'm
been.
imagining.
Do you know
the
what?
royals
See
on
if they all
EastEnders.
spoke with Cockney accents. That's essentially what the crown was. So,
But isn't
I
that-
want to be fucking useful. I ain't got no job. Margaret, let me do something.
let
Just
me
because you
do
were born first.
Oh, Harry, I'm not the spare.
Yeah.
Everyone likes me better. You're
Yeah.
the one that dressed up as a Nazi.
Yeah.
No one likes you anymore, Harry, you ginger nonce.
It's funny because we say spur. You ginger nuns. Stop it.
Damn it.
Do you know the way we say, like, do you say spur? I'm standing here like a fucking spur,
Spur
but you
dick.
mean spur dick.
Oh, we would say like a spur prick. I would say, I stand here like a spur prick at an orgy.
But speaking of the royals,
Le
right.
Royal.
Royale.
Yeah.
Let's get into this
thank you.
week's word.
This is eponymous.
Eponymous.
So, like, that's basically like eponymous. So, like,
I keep thinking of
if
heap
you
hop.
said like
Hip hop,
the
hip hop
eponymous, the eponymous protagonist of Oliver Twist.
Yes.
So like it's
Yes!
named after, or like Celine Dion's eponymous album because it's called
Yes.
Celine Dion.
Leona Lewis.
Yeah.
Eponymous. Does anybody remember her? So eponymous, before we get on to Leona Lewis,
What we talk about, Leona Lewis.
eponymous means, I was about to show you guys, eponymous means lending your name to something like an award
Yeah.
or having something specifically named after you.
Yeah.
I wanna be eponymous
Miss for Christmas! Very, very
Snaps,
good.
snaps.
Once again, Sean wins the
Patry
episode.
Sean, the eponymously named Patry Sean.
The eponymously
Ah,
named.
yes.
And I love the idea of being eponymous one day, but not for something negative.
No, something like infamous.
Yeah.
Just something that like, you know, like, we don't
Like
really,
nowadays, we'll like.
it all went Pete Tong.
Oh yeah, like
Do I
so
know-
he gives his name to
I know
that.
it's rhyming slang, but like that's his name.
Yeah, that is his name. And like James Blunt is his own name is rhyming slang for what he is. He
Runt.
said, you know, like you being nice.
Jeremy Hunt. Do you remember like
Yeah,
Jeremy
such
Hunt?
a Jeremy Hunt.
Such a Jeremy Hunt. But do you remember like somebody was one of the newsreaders was like, and Jeremy Hunt. And like
Yes!
they totally like he was like,
My brother-in-law still keeps like an old digital skybox.
is it digital though?
Digital.
A digital stay box?
It's one of the real old models, and he still plugs it in like a couple of times a year just to laugh at all the wee clips that he saved of things. that he
his wee
knows.
skybox.
His wee skybox. Like,
What did
where
you
he's-
call that?
He's recorded.
NTL.
What did you call the wee? What did you call? Yeah, remember like in America it was called TiVo. What did we call
I had
it?
TiVo because that I had the Virgin, but
Yeah,
he,
Virgin Box.
he-
Sky
Sky Plus.
Sky Plus.
Sky Plus. Did you
Yes.
Sky Plus that?
he Sky Plused like loads of. He has a real funny wee quirky sense of humor, and some things just tickle him, and some things you're like, okay, that's a you joke. I don't get it. But most of the things that he has saved on this skybox are fucking just a hilarious moment. Like there was a moment where he has it saved where the weather report, one of the news readers is like segueing to the weatherman and goes like, Now over to Tom. Hopefully he's awake this morning. Blah, blah, blah. He's woken up a little. And Tom goes like... Do you know? And it's the way he tries to make it look like he wasn't doing
just been
it.
giving him the finger.
And our Joe just cracks up at this.
I love
like,
it. But I remember like the point at which my mum's husband.
Sorry,
and my
whenever you
youngest
said
brother,
that there, I saw a pointed witch.
a witch, the pointed witch.
I thought, I was like, is this a Halloween
It's the
story?
Halloween tangent, but the pointed witch.
You were talking about your mummy. Sorry,
No,
go
no,
on
no,
ahead.
no,
Yeah,
sorry,
the
but-
pointed witch.
No, no.
I'm only joking, sorry.
No, if you matter. But you would go, apt. The point at which I knew that my brother and my mum's husband were not going to get on was because whenever he moved in with my mum, he and our Andrew was still living at home. He like deleted a whole lot of our Andrew's Sky Plus, and I thought
That is akin to walking into somebody's house and
taking a shit under their pillow.
yeah, that is. Do you know? I see you saying that too, right? My sister.
Your rage went like this here.
It's
Drawn
just
his
like,
face, so those who
who
can't
fucking
see.
does it? What
Who
a
do you think?
bastard.
Like, and I think, but he was like, I can't even remember what he was using it for. But it was like a pure like.
You didn't even need it.
It was our Andrew, because our Andrew when he was a wee boy, would have taped that like recorded off the TV, off MTV, like the same song like 3 times, so that he didn't have to rewind
Yes.
the tape to watch it again.
Is your Andrew ADHD as fuck?
Oh, I don't know, because our Andrew's very, very laid back.
Well, do you want to know something? Sorry, you just reminded me of something. My sister, speaking of like deleting things, whenever we were up in Donegal, I gave her my phone she wanted to Google a song. So I gave her my phone, opened Safari and Safari, and was like, work away. And I just happened to glance over at her to see what the fuck she was doing, right? And she was just hitting X.
Oh, she was closing all your tabs.
All my tabs. And I, honestly, it was like somebody was walking out in the middle of the road. It maybe was a bit overkill, but I went, no! What are you doing? And she went, I'm just helping you out. I'm tidying it up for you. You've like
Who fucking asked you to do
She
that?
went, like, you have like 114 tabs open. And I was like, I need them. And she was like, Bronagh. But she was really shocked. She was like, I'm sorry. Like, what do you mean you need them? That'll slow your phone down. And I was like, it's not. It's an iPhone. She was like, you need like all 114 of these. And I was like, every one of those tabs relates to something that I need to remember.
Me too, I do
Or
that.
I keep tabs open. Like, say I have a recurring thing that I pay every month, instead of like hitting it in, I just know I have a tab for it. Do you know what
I
I'm talking
have started
about?
doing this thing.
Like, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, notes.
This
Worse-
is how
go
boring I
ahead.
am. This is how boring I am, right? This is how boring I am. I go through and I love looking at words that are either obsolete. Obviously, all of this.
Why do we have the same search?
Why do
history?
we have the same search? So,
look,
look
see
at
all my tabs. Look at all. Right.
Well, because I haven't kept-
I only have like 20 tabs open now.
I don't have that anymore. I have. Let me see if I can find. This is so interesting. So, look at all my screenshots.
I
of
do that.
Wikipedia. I'm like, so instead of keeping open a tab, of
I do
screenshots.
that.
It's like words that I've got. I do that. Marthambles.
I've started like screenshots.
I do that.
I do that.
I do that.
Yeah. My one, right, we'll give each other, you're getting this here.
A word.
Yeah, a word. So what's your word? Did you have in your screenshot of your tab?
The first one is Marthambles, which is a word for a disease from the 18th century that was incurable.
Really?
An incurable disease.
So is that for any incurable disease? It's a Martha. I guess it's
It's
a
one-
fucking Marthambles.
It's just basically like whenever they look at it, whenever they look back on the things, it was just written as Marthambles or Marthambles, or there's the alternative forms are Markambles with a K.
Mark Hamill.
It's
He
just
never got a role
Mark
again after
Hamill.
fucking.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Whenever he had his fucking accident,
Let's see
he
if I can find
didn't.
a
He
better
wasn't the
one.
handsome hero anymore.
Well,
do you
it's
remember?
not.
We bit of a Mark Hamill.
Well,
That's
see-
a bit of an
Amatic.
eponymous.
Well, that's what you're saying. You're saying, is that disease now eponymous
Is it
for
eponymous?
incurable diseases?
Incurable diseases. So it was a term used then for a disease, but there's no further information on what
Aye.
the disease actually was. It was just a disease. So it could have been COVID.
See,
Like,
with
I
the,
love-
see the deleting stuff? Do you want to hear one of like the rudest, most ill-word
L-word fucking
L-word.
acting out.
Go
acts
for it.
of deleting something.
Deletion.
Drag, babe, drag.
So, my mummy and my aunties used to get a hairdresser to come out to the house, right?
Right.
And they had a wee day where they all got their hair cut
Yeah.
in the house.
Was it all the same?
They all had the same haircut.
Did they all have the same? Because like the hairdresser knew how to do one cut. Was it a sweepy fringe with blonde highlights?
Yes.
Oh my God. You really hammered that. Like, you high five.
called it.
So see, the hairdresser used to bring
Karen cut.
the hairdresser used to bring her son along every time, and I graciously used to let him play my PlayStation. And
Sean.
Memory card delete.
one day
Memory card
I
deletion.
wasn't home in time for them like coming in and doing it, and says, "Sure, go you on and play."
Sean doesn't
Sean's
mind.
Sean doesn't mind, right? He deleted.
What a cunt.
He went to make a new save, right, on a game I was
And
playing.
he
I think it was like a
overwrote?
Star Wars game I had. And instead of like, going, oh, there's no space left, I'll just play another game mode. He went, I'm going to delete not only his memory on all the storage of his thing on this game, I'm just going to wipe the memory card clean
Cheeky bastard.
of all the games.
That is L-word.
That is L-word. That's L-word. It's
Entitled.
It's sociopathic.
It is.
It honestly is.
Oh
And,
my.
and he
That's
wasn't.
that's
He
overt
wasn't even
narcissism.
like a child. He was like 2 years younger than me.
Oh my God.
He
So
wasn't like a
knew better.
5-year-old.
He
Yeah.
should have knew better. Should have
That's
known
so-
better.
Should have known.
I
Lad of
forfeit.
one.
But see on Eponymous as well. I'm saying it right, aren't I?
Yes,
Yeah.
eponymous.
So to use a more apt example, it's sort of like when people are comparing like forms of art, like so a film, they'll say that's very Hitchcock like
Yes.
or something.
Yes.
Or you'll go, that's very Dali-esque. Or
Yes.
that is, or even like time periods, like you'll go, that's Jacobean or
Victorian.
That's Victorian.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
eponymous.
But a lot of words are eponymous in and of themselves. Like even whenever we were talking about Wednesday,
Yes.
that's eponymous with Odin.
Odin.
Because Odin's Day.
All the days of the week.
Like, and a
apart from, I
lot of
think,
words are
Sunday.
rooted eponymously in
Eponymously.
in like some form of mythology, like
Yes.
named after
Yes.
someone. And I tend to love those words, like narcissism.
It's Narcissus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the name of the nymph who fell in love with him?
Oh God, I don't know.
So the nymph Echo
Echo
fell in love with
With-
Narcissus. Narcissus,
Yeah.
Narcisse, and he fell in love with his own reflection,
And he
she
drowned,
kept
didn't he?
trying to talk to him. No, he was wasted away, and he turned into the
Oh.
Narcissus flower.
Right.
And she, Echo, the nymph, kept trying to get his attention, and her love for him, she faded away just in her voice, and that's why she's the
Oh.
Echo.
She is the Echo. I love that.
Maybe
I
like
love.
Greek
Do you,
mythology.
do you?
I love. Anybody seen Chaos?
No,
No,
but
but
I want to
I've
watch
seen it pop up since you've mentioned
It's
it.
so good, and everybody.
Is it?
If you're a Greek mythology, eponymous Chaos, because Chaos, I think Chaos was the
One of the
in mythology
original
they've got a
titans.
thing like most mythologies, like creationism of mythologies comes from a thing called Chaos Kampf, which is chaos struggle. You know, like Mein Kampf, made
My struggle.
famous by
Hitler, who
Your mom.
also is eponymous with cunt.
with Kant.
Like people will go, "You're a Hitler."
Like you're a wee Hitler.
Yeah.
You're a wee Hitler. So Chaos Kampf is generally like, how the gods will appear because they were fighting against natural elements. And that's like humans trying to assert themselves over the natural world that they're living in. So like,
Create
again,
understanding and control.
yeah,
by
Athens is named after the Athena.
She was beauty, wasn't she?
She was wisdom and warfare.
Wisdom and warfare.
She was born from Zeus's head.
Right.
So he had
And
this.
then there's like demigods because then Athena has children as well.
No, she didn't have any children because she was a virgin. She was a virgin.
Was she? Do you know what I'm?
She was a
apologies.
virgin.
Do you know
Aphrodite.
what I'm using? Maybe it was Aphrodite.
Because she had most famous demigod Hercules
Right.
or
That's
Heracles, which is his proper name. The Romans called him
Heracles.
Hercules, but he was called
right.
Heracles.
Heracles. Yeah.
And he was Zeus's child with, I think his mommy was Daenerys.
Sorry, whenever you said demigod there, now all I have in my head is when you're dealing with the demigod. What can I say except you're welcome?
What's that?
The Rock
in Moana.
Do you know that his daughter is obsessed with Moana, loves that song, doesn't realise it's her daddy?
That's her dad. It even looks like him.
And he
with her.
actually, like, did a video of him, like, holding his daughter, and he was singing along with it while she was doing it.
She had
And he
no
was like,
clue.
she has no idea.
Alcmene is her
Alcmene was
mother.
Hercules' mummy.
Alcmene.
And how did he... Because you know were we talking about this recently?
Yeah.
About,
So
Zeus was like a dickhead. Like he was married to Hera, right?
He was a fuck boy.
So
Sure, he
Hera
had kids everywhere.
everywhere, and so Hera
Should call
was
my dad Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah.
A Zeus bar,
Yeah.
orange Zeus.
That's why there's loads of Spanish people called Jesus.
Hey Zeus.
Kids everywhere.
Hey Zeus.
Hi.
Hey Zeus.
Hey Zeus.
So because Zeus would just because he was, and I always felt like then Hera was a bit of a bitch. So his wife, also his sister, Hera was the goddess of marriage, but did have all the guy that she was married to was like fucking around everybody.
Yeah.
She was but a fucker,
Yeah.
like.
She was married to Hera and Vera.
And there,
They're
Hera,
fucking here, there, and everywhere.
and everywhere. I fucking loved it. But he was just as you say, like, Zeus fuckboy.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum plays it
So
brilliantly.
Chaos, gonna watch it.
Chaos
Need
with a
to
K,
watch it.
K-A-O-S.
There's a good
It's,
recommendation.
it is so good. It gives me like Greek mythology mixed with Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, love it. Right, because we were talking about the gods, American gods. So, yes, that would be...
American Gods, which I enjoyed.
I enjoyed American God the first season because it talked about how gods are in existence so long as people believe in them. So then there was the Irish one, which was the leprechaun. And his last believer was like alive. But it kind of is in... I love that sort of notion to say you only live as long as the last person that remembers.
Yeah, you're never
you.
dead as long as you're in somebody's memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you think about the many people that we've forgot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then if you're remembered, if your name it does become eponymous for something, you've basically achieved immortality.
Really? Because like, if you
but then
think
there's like unfortunate examples of eponymy.
like
Cropper.
Hitler.
Crapper. Yes!
Crapper.
Do you know I nearly died off? I was in a museum in London and it was explaining how it came about. And I went, ha! Crabber. And then, Kurt was like, yeah, say it was William Crapper or something.
I think it was William
I was just
Crapper,
like, but
wasn't
now his name just literally
Means shit.
Yeah.
Your
Went
name's-
down to Crapper.
it? Place in which you deposit your feces.
Yeah.
Or just crop.
Or just
you know?
crap.
crap,
If
that's
something's crap.
Yeah.
Like shortened. Oh my
Like
God.
he
crap.
advanced fucking civilization.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, you were,
Forward.
like shitting in
Yeah.
a box and then like having somebody collect it at the end of the night.
Aye. Or dumping it out your window.
Something like your
And we'll just
Guardio.
remember him for being, associated with
shit boy.
shit. And then, depending what way you look at it, peeler.
Peeler,
A
Robert
peeler,
Peel.
Robert Peel.
Yeah, well, we would say that eponymous, and it would be identified with like a negative thing.
Negative
like
thing.
The peelers.
Yeah.
Peelers.
Do you know what I mean?
Do English people call them peelers?
Sometimes it depends. I think I have heard it, but they would know of the only historically speaking, whenever they're referring to the peelers, like Robert Peel's, like set. I'm sure that I've seen it referred to historically as that in like something, but not the way we would use it just everyday generalization, like the peelers.
Because it doesn't really
There's
have.
peelers.
Maybe it started off negatively, but I think even like a person who
I
is a
don't
police
think
officer
it's-
would say they're a peeler. I'm a peeler. Do you know
I
what I mean?
wouldn't even think that it
Or the
was
term of civil servant.
negative.
As soon as anybody says to me civil service, I always think you're either a peeler or a prison
guard.
officer. Aye.
But like, I don't say peeler in a nasty way whenever I'm thinking.
No, there's no
peelers, I'll
sting
just
in
be
it
like,
now.
There isn't. Not years ago, it was
Aye.
normally because it was like, "There's the peelers, quick, grab a fucking rock to throw at the sergeant." But now it's just like the peelers.
The peelers.
The peelers around the corner.
I always say this whenever I'm asked to do next cabaret, and I always say to people, I'm going to ask you what you do for a living, and you need to answer me quickly, because if there's any hesitation, I'm going to believe that you're a peeler.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? If you're taking your time to think about what you're doing, I'm thinking you're coming up with another job.
Aye.
'Cause you don't want people to
'Cause
think
you
you're a
don't want
peeler.
people to know what you actually do. Yeah.
I remember because my dad was a prison officer at the Maze back in the 80s.
Jesus.
Like he was always English, so he fucking deserved it. So you get what you fucking deserve.
I did your face there that you do. Your dad's probably kicked my dad's fucking at one stage.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At some point back in the 80s, my dad worked there between 82 on and off between 82 and 88.
Right. So he'd have been there but during blanket and stuff.
All that sort of carry on. And he worked in H block. Like he did work in H block. But I remember there's a time whenever like my mum.
You bastard.
He was I.
Yeah.
He was I.
Sorry, David. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I haven't seen my dad since I was 10.
I'm really sorry. I'm sitting here.
No, I haven't seen my dad since I was 10. I'm that fucking
At least
cup
he
of tea's
didn't have
well
any
cloud.
nerves to feed.
Yeah. We're glad he left.
I'm glad he left. That's one
Yeah.
Brit. What's one Brit? Like whenever, maybe we were in our house. We Republicans in the house. We were sending our own dad Brits out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he went back to England.
Fuck off.
Fucking Brits out. I'm your dad.
Yeah. Exactly. Please leave.
I'm gonna go. But we were. But I remember my ma. It was the time. Obviously, like, you had to be careful. You know, there could be bombs under the car and things like that there. And I remember my mum.
You planted it.
And as I got there, do like 3 things that I was like 8-year-old going like I said when we cup of tea watching. I'd say like out there just to see if the car blew up. But he was. I sent.
Nope. Looks like we're going to school today. Andrew, come on.
I sent him. I sent him an envelope with a bullet in it, but like the address was written in crayon.
Never made a bullet for my Valentine.
Bullet from my dad. But I remember like my ma, and I remember even at the time I remember thinking I must have been about 6 or 7, and my mum like looked under the car, and then like she stood outside the car and she started the ignition outside the car and jumped back.
Like Sean walking out of a room.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, if that car's going to explode, Mum,
You're fucked.
we're
anyway.
all fucked here. Do you know what I mean? Like you might jump back, but you're going to be fucking through back about 20 fucking
You
meters.
don't need to jump.
You don't need to jump.
Yeah.
The explosion.
About 20 years.
Like I say, like I say, but I just thought to myself, even then, you're like your child, you're going like I say, she's going to kill us.
Yeah.
If there is a bomb here, we're all dead. And I'm like,
If a bomb had been off in your house and your man and dad would have ended up out the window, it would have been the first time they were out together in fucking years.
Yeah, I do remember. No, it's, whenever you think back, and it's like, you're like, obviously it's traumatic. You're like, content warning anybody who's listening.
Like,
And
trauma
you're-
laugh.
Trauma laugh. Sure. On my last nerve.
Yeah. Just don't want to be here anymore. LOL.
Thinking of anything at all, LMAO. But I remember once my ma taking her sandal off and throwing it at my dad's
She
head.
did Tina Turner.
She did when I got there. You don't love me no more.
Yeah.
I don't want you. I don't want nothing from you. But
Except your name.
I don't want nothing from you. My name's Tina Turner. I got a credit card and $50 in my pocket, but I swear I'll get you my money.
You're a dick.
But my ma would took her
You
sandal
quoted
off.
that scene verbatim there.
Did you
though.
like
That was
it?
perfect. Yeah, I loved it.
She took her sandal off and fucked it at my dad's head, and he ducked, and it went through the living room window into the garden. And he was like, she was like, "What are you doing?" And she says, "What are you doing? You broke that window." And he was like, "No, you threw the slipper at my head." And she's like, "Yes, but you weren't meant to duck."
Yeah.
It was meant to hit you in the head.
Yeah, you bastard. That was your fault.
And the right. You know when you're talking, I'm pure trauma dumping now.
I love it.
Pure trauma
Go for
dumping
it.
now. My ma came down one morning, just like, but I do see this in my set, like my mum and my dad should not have got married, but not for all the reasons that is true. Do you know what I mean? So like my ma came down, so our Peter must have been about 3, which meant that I was about, oh God, not even, maybe our Andrew even hadn't been born yet. It was just me and Peter. And my ma came down one morning to make our breakfast. And she was wandering around the kitchen and she thought, fuck, I haven't woke up yet. What is the problem? What is fuck is going on? Like,
Sorry, I know what's coming.
You know what's
That's
coming.
well.
I've told you this before. And she's like, why can I not? And then it hit her after about 5 minutes of trying to work out why she couldn't make breakfast. She turned around, and in the middle of the night, under cover of darkness, my dad had come into our house and stole our fridge freezer and brought
That
it.
was cold.
That was cold. And it was like a thief in the night.
Oh my God.
He
stole
came
your
and he
fucking
stole our
fridge
fridge freezer because he had moved in with another woman, and so he took our fridge freezer and brought it to her house.
Yeah. See, but if your mom went nuts, did your dad go to her? Chill.
Chill out.
Chill out.
May run after. Our fridge was running down the fucking road.
Aye.
To an old house.
Oh my God. Can you
Um,
imagine how the fuck do you get a fridge out of the kitchen in the middle of the
In
night?
the middle of
with
the
no
night,
noise?
we must have been sound sleepers. Maybe this is why I'm a bad
He
sleeper
probably
now. I'm afraid of
dosed
somebody
you.
fucking stealing my fridge again.
Just a fucking slip, just all sleeping.
That's what I was thinking. He's went here, you go.
'cause he had moved out
Drink
with
the
some
Jesus
woman.
juice.
We'll go. Because we all.
I imagine he like had a crew, and it was
Yeah.
like, a heist.
It must
Yeah.
have been like because we
Oh,
had like.
him and all his fellow prison guards, like lifting this fucking
Well,
fridge out.
the kitchen door
Shawshank
went into a
Redemption.
garage. And so I think he maybe took it out into the garage, which is like the side of the house. And like, she's like, dun, dun, this is Wheels. He's the driver. He's got to stand outside. This is Steve. This is Steve. He'll stand in the garden, pretend he's smoking a fag to look if there's any lights going upstairs.
Yeah. He's used to looking out over the maze. Do you know what I mean? Sniper and all that. Anybody tries to get out.
This is Johnny. He's got a gurney we can use to get the fridge out of the house.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Gurney child runs up. We said gurney. No.
That's what we meant. I don't know why I'm talking. My dad was from Yorkshire. He didn't have a fucking Cockney accent. But then after they made their peace and my ma let him back into the house, we got our fridge back. Do you know what else he stole?
She only let him back in so she could get the fucking.
But do you know what else he stole from our house? My ma, even now, my ma, do you know the things he bring? He stole a wok out of our house. So like in the 80s, a wok. What the fuck are you talking about?
He walked this way. He walked out.
He walked out with our fucking Fraser. Walked this way. And and my mum would always go and she brought that woman's house and she fucking and she scraped the whole inside of it. She said I couldn't use that wok after that. But he brought the thing back.
Not to mention the fact that like your dad's mistress was using the utensils.
Fucking piece on the side.
But
she had
and never making Chinese food again.
How often did just phone it like a fucking rest of us, you stupid bastard.
Yeah.
But
do you know what he made that day? A curry split.
He fucking did.
There'll be no stir fries in that house.
No more.
Yeah, but
get your noodle in.
She brought it back. He brought back the thing, but it was full of like wee packets of like fun size Mars bars that he had put into like the fridge for her, the other woman. Doesn't this sound like very Victoria Wood, very tragic, where it was like he didn't buy us Mars bars, but he bought the other woman Mars bars. They had Mars bars, very fucking sad. But so my ma was like, I said, don't you be eating them Mars bars. They're for that bitch's children.
Okay.
That's as fancy woman's children. And then my nana would be sitting in the living room going like, I here. Go and get us a wee Mars bar out of the freezer. But don't be letting on to your ma. Do you know what I mean? Like, so after like, do you like weeks of it? Do you know like weeks of like...
Nobody, I know.
She didn't throw them out, but she kept them in the freezer.
We trauma Mars bars just to remind you.
To keep her mad.
Yeah.
There's a reminder that she was like mad at him.
Yeah.
So open it to get the Findus crispy pancakes and seeing the fucking Mars bars and going,
fuck that.
Get you out here!
Yeah.
Fucking stand you there and take you this slipper in the face, you fucker.
But they do say men are from Mars.
Mars.
You know? Yeah. Oh,
it was that long ago that there weren't actually baby marathons. They weren't baby Snickers, they were baby marathons.
Baby marathons.
That's how long ago it was.
And he fucking ran a marathon, didn't he?
There we go. But you think I'm imagining my ma walking. I'm imagining my ma walking around the kitchen trying to work out what the fuck is wrong. And it's that there's no fridge freezer.
Yeah, that's like, do you know whenever there's little like things like that where you just can't place? Like, my dad was babysitting my cousins, ironically, because he never fucking babysat us once in his life. He was babysitting my cousins, and our Jackie tells this story where she and Nikki decided to shave their eyebrows off.
As happens.
Right, as happens. And they went up to my daddy and they were like, Uncle Michael, and he was going, what have you done? And they were just looking at him and he was like, I don't know what it is, but there's something different. What have you done?
They raised a few eyebrows.
Raised a few eyebrows. Must have looked like chemo patients.
He raised a few eyebrows.
But yeah, apparently my aunt came home and went absolutely mental at him, like, we're not watching them. And he was like, I didn't even notice that their eyebrows were missing.
Two children starting like two wee fucking grima worm tongues.
Yeah.
I think the eyebrows were away before I got here.
Yeah, hold on a wee minute. I never have or ever have been involved in this scenario.
Never an eyebrow erasing situation.
They just bicked their eyebrows to clean off.
The eyebrows off their faces.
I think everybody has had an unfortunate accident with a bick razor. Do you remember those wee orange razors with the white top?
Oh.
Like, as a kid, you know, I remember I actually still have a scar somewhere, you know, like cutting yourself with the razor.
I'm rubbing my thumb like that there because like I totally know what you're talking. I remember like, those first few wee bum fluffy hairs that come, and I remember getting my granddad's razor and doing that there and then looking and they were there on the blade, so I went like that to wipe them off.
Yes, everybody has
and sliced my finger open and you're like
open.
out there, whoa, why did I do that? I'm so stupid, why did I do this?
Yeah. Thumb has gills, like the hills have eyes.
Thumbs has gills.
Yeah, they probably do as well because they were all deformed.
Not like that there.
Yeah,
Breathe,
we actually
breathe
used,
through their thumbs.
our Lorraine had
Take a big deep breath. Take his gloves off. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
going swimming, just it's all cool, man.
Beep.
That'd be class.
Like we submarines.
Yeah. Oh my god. Beep. Beep.
You can't
beep.
go scuba then because like you can't go any deeper than a fucking shallow end of a
Shallow.
pool. Yeah.
He thinks it's a superpower, but shite.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Oh my god. Yes. Hold your.
Oh no. Oh, take a big breath.
Yeah. That's it. He basically
Happy
waterboards
birthday!
himself every time he's doing the dishes. You know what I mean?
Pacing himself.
Yeah.
That way, you like the wee things, the wee nose plugs,
Yeah.
put on his thumbs. Here we go.
Chokes every time he tries to have a wank.
Can you imagine? We're a bit surreal. Like, this is Dalian.
This
like,
is Izardian.
Yeah, we go really, like, you know, there's clocks melting everywhere here.
They're
Like,
fucking melting.
absolutely, we are
Clock melting out of your ear.
certifiably insane. Like,
I think if this goes into a time capsule and there's like in the future and they're going to be able to, they're going to go, we can understand the words that they're using, but we don't know what they're saying.
yeah,
Do you know that way?
yeah.
It's like English.
I
but not
think
quite.
that a lot of people think that anyway about us.
I
Do you
think
know
so.
that old saying, if a lion could speak, we still wouldn't understand what it was saying?
Right.
So essentially what it means is, like, in terms of like philosophy, the way that the lion would think and process the world is completely different to how we would. So it wouldn't even make sense when it was speaking to us.
Because I was reading a thing
Yeah.
about like crows, for example. Like crows don't have like linear memories like we have. So like
Right.
whenever they're eating food,
I'm sorry, but you just reminded me, this is related, and
Yeah.
we will get on to it, but I sent my cousin an ADHD meme the other day, and it was when you have something really important to do, but you've went on 3 side quests, steam cleaned your entire sofa, Googled how to make friends with a crow,
Yeah.
and done something, and she was like, yeah, and I went, no, I literally went to
This is
Google
what
how to
happened.
make friends with a crow the other day, and I was like, somebody's watching me.
so there's somebody if the
So
CIA
the
ever
crows,
like so
because
crows like
I saw people that have like the feed the crows, and then the crows leave them wee gifts.
because like they don't have like a linear time. Like I ate my food yesterday. Whenever they're eating, it's always now.
That's like me.
It's always now. Whenever they're flying away, whenever they're doing
Fucking
something,
starving.
they're always in
In the moment.
In the moment that
So
they're in.
if you're practicing mindfulness, you really should try and be a crow.
Be a crow.
Yeah.
Be a crow.
Oh my god.
Be a crow.
Think like a crow. A
Sing-
crow.
I love crows though. Do you ever watch crows try problem solving?
No.
Like there was like they had the treat inside. So what they did is they had like whatever it was all laid up, and so that they had to take a wee branch and like knock a stone out of the way. So then that would open that, and then they'd be able to get in to get the treat. And you watch the crow, you know, tipping its wee head right like this here and sorting it out and lifting the thing and doing it.
If you want to go
So
down
amazing.
this rabbit hole, or should I say squirrel hole, Mark Rober has this really, he's the YouTuber, he's an engineer. He worked for NASA before, very intelligent man, and he has a YouTube channel. Watch us first, but
Watch us first.
But he has these experiments where he just started
the
off for fun
squirrels?
with the squirrels, you know, figuring out how he could have a birdhouse that the squirrels couldn't break into. And then he figured that they were so genius, like they would come up with all these wee
So
ingenious ways
clever.
of getting it out, that he made then like a obstacle course for the squirrels. And he has so many episodes now because he'll like make it tougher every time. And he's like, he names them. There's Fat Gus, who is actually a woman. We found out that Fat Gus had babies, so it was a girl. It wasn't just fat.
Congratulations, Fat Gus.
Congratulations. But yes, watch that. It does. I
It
go,
basically makes like, you know, like the Ninja Warrior course.
yes.
But for
But
squirrels.
for squirrels, because like they're that smart that they try and like they
And they'll
just
problem
work out
solve.
how to
Squirrels
get
are
across.
linguistic hate crime against Northern Irish people.
Squirrels.
Squirrel.
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 Yeah.
But we got loads of squirrels in our garden during lockdown.
Oh, really?
This before we had the cats. And there's one we called him Norbert. and he would come up to the door, and we would like we just every day we would just like put him out with seeds. And this one day we'd forgotten, so he came to our door and he looked in like this here.
Oh, stop!
He had his wee hands up at the window like this here. Alan, my husband, verify this, please. Came up to the thing, and then what he would do is he would jump up onto one of the patio furnitures with his back to the door for like a second, jump down, look into it again as if to go, and then come back up to the window as if to go.
No.
But I gave you time to
and
fill
you
that
still
up.
haven't done it.
But the thing, if we had opened the door, it would have run away.
Yeah.
But then one day we put in chestnuts, and he didn't like chestnuts, and he lifted it, and he went like this here, and he looked in, and I swear, Alan again, verify this in the comments
Was it
below.
a sassy squirrel?
He lifted the squirrel and he threw it in the ground like this here while he was looking at us, and we could hear the chestnut bouncing off the floor as if to go, fuck you chestnuts! Wait, fuck you chicken strips!
You fucking pavos.
What's this? Chestnuts?
Mark Rober also did an experiment to determine their favourite
How about
kind
these
of
nuts?
How about these nuts?
Yeah,
Rub them up against
these
the window.
nuts. Oh my god. Yeah, the squirrel sounds like my kids. Like,
Squirrel. And it's funny, like squirrel to squirrel something away.
yes. They're eponymous.
The eponymous
with saving.
with saving.
Yeah.
We squirrel is
To
eponymous
squirrel
with yes.
something away, yeah.
Squirrel
Oh,
away.
would you like to do this week's swear down?
Swear down.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Have you got
Right.
our? Are you cueing the lights?
Yes.
Oh, he is. Sorry.
That
This week's. Oh, it's upside down. That was on purpose.
was on purpose.
One,
Swear down. Wait, ready?
It happened. It just
Swear
it
down.
It just happened.
It just happened.
It just happened.
We overthought it. This
We
week.
did.
did.
We overthought it because we did the.
I'm just going to add the wee ha ha ha. Like,
Yeah, swear down.
Swear down.
That was actually funny. Swear down.
I can't even remember what like tune I used now.
Oh.
I can't. Pugnacious.
Pugnacious. This word has been in my saved for ages now.
Pugnacious. Is pugnacious like ballsy?
You could say that, yeah.
Pugnacious, like somebody who is like, is it like a wee bit cheeky?
Yes, eager to quarrel or fight.
Okay,
Sounds like-
pugnacious.
a really posh, like English person.
Yes, it
You know,
does.
someone might have been a viscount of
Viscount
like, of-
Pugnacious.
of some fucking
Lord Pugnacious.
like land far away. The
Yeah.
viscount of
Pugnacious.
French Malay.
What is it to say you can figure out your Bridgerton name by starting with lady and then your pet's name and then
Pickle.
of the last thing you ate. So Lord Pickle of
The Goujon.
the Goujon. Lord Pickle of
I
the
haven't
Goujon.
had any date today yet, so it was like what I had for my supper last night. Chicken Goujons.
I
Lord Pickle of the
am
Goujon.
Lady Gizmo of the Blondie.
Of the Blondie.
Oh yeah. I'm in a phone booth. It's a one across the hall.
Call me! Call me!
Don't call me. He'll not answer.
Don't put, text me!
Yeah.
Text me! Text
Voice note
me!
me if you
Text
need to talk to me.
anytime. But not after 11, because
Yeah.
I'll probably be sleeping.
I have this thing on my
Lord
phone.
Bobby of Pan au Chocolat.
Are
Lord Robert of
He
I'll
is-
just
he's
go and
de-
fuck myself then,
He's
shall I?
definitely getting a gay storyline in season
Yeah.
4. Like, he
really
definitely...
Lord Robert's up to something.
He's getting his pan au chocolat. That's a shibboleth. Pan au chocolat is a shibboleth.
Is it?
Because in the north they call it pan au chocolat, and in
Yeah.
the south they call it chocolatine.
That's right, you have said the guy.
And over
who
here we
made the
just
shop.
go, we pan chocolate.
pan chocolate, please,
We chocolate croissant.
and a jambon.
And a jambon. I love a
Jambon.
jambon.
See, I think maybe because of the Spanish, I have went jambon,
Jambon.
jambon, because obviously, like you think
Jambon.
the jambon. Tell me this. I wanted to
Tell us this and tell us no more.
Right. So, by the way, we'll
So
talk
pug-
about pugnacious.
Oh, why, what's pugnacious?
So
pug-
pugnacious is someone that's eager to quarrel or fight or argue, like an argumentative wee
Somebody
fucker.
who'd fight with her fingernails.
Aye.
Fall
yeah.
out in an empty room.
Wee pugnacious Paul over there.
Fight with her shadow. My nanny used to say that about
Start
people.
a fight in an empty house.
He'd go, see him, he'd fight with his shadow.
Aye. It's shadow.
A shadow.
Shadowboxing.
Shadow boxing. He'd fight with his shadow.
Do you ever... there are just some people who... Do you ever know, like, for example... At weddings or whatever, they're usually the one that's left off the list. Like, there are people who are just naturally pugnacious, and no matter what happens, they are going to end up in an argument.
They're always just because do you know that they're twisty? They've got
Yeah.
twisty head, and it gets worse as the more alcohol gets
English
in.
people have a good term for it, actually, where they'll say, he switched on me, or she switched on me, meaning like they just flipped like a switch. Their personality changed. So I've started kind of, I suppose I use that now. Like, yeah, she just, or, you know, she
We
just
used to
switched
say,
up.
and I don't know if this is like a Newry saying, which is very apt because I think Newry is a very pugnacious place. I think people in Newry
There's
are.
a few stories now about Newry. Newry needs to, I love Newry, and I do typically love, like, you know, are we Leanne McCooey and all?
Lovely Anne
But
McCooey.
there's
I'm
been
just
a
not a
few
fan
things
of Newry.
that Newry
Of
needs
Anne
PR,
Muir.
a PR makeover.
It needs a wee bit of a chill pill. It needs a wee bit of it. It needs a wee bit of diazepam in the water.
So you were saying
but
about
pugnacious.
switched.
But we used to say about people. So I don't know if this is a Newry saying, but it was a friend of ours at uni, and she used to say that they got septic head.
septic head.
She's
Right.
got her septic head on. Just that's somebody who. So like I had a really good friend of mine, and
Like poisonous thinking, poisonous head.
Yeah, the God lover. Yes, so she was taking like no shame in it, but she was taking antipsychotics because of her like depression
Because of
and
her
her thing,
septic
'cause of her
head?
septic head, for fucking septic head. But then she would go and she would drink loads of fucking pints, and then there'd become a time in the night, and it was madness. It was like a switch. It was like a literal switch, and I think. Whenever you're telling a story, people don't understand that you're being literal. Whenever she'd be like, 1 minute she'd be killing herself, and she'd be like, "Oh fuck, that's so funny." Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Go and fuck yourself. And you'd be like, "Did I go into
That's
like a
quite
30-second
synonymous
coma?"
with being on an SSRI or antidepressants. Drinking on them, I would never recommend. I would take this thing where I would just call it the lights are on but nobody's home syndrome. You know, like and I can
Or the
see
lights
it,
are off and it's getting
but
robbed.
no, I can, yeah, but I can see it in people as well. I can spot, like, for example, I was at a christening before. This was years and years ago, and this lady became extraordinarily pugnacious and really quite aggressive.
Did you know her?
I didn't know her too well,
No.
but I knew just
of
by
her?
looking at her eyes, I went, she is up to the max on her
It's the
antidepressants,
jaw
and she
and-
shouldn't be drinking.
It's the
right now.
jaw it's a jaw on the eyes.
Yeah, there's like a mania.
And there's like minimal blinking.
By the way, if you're listening to this, this is your friendly reminder to unclench your jaw and relax your shoulders.
Drop your shoulders, drop your jaw.
Do you ever do? I love those wee reminders because I go.
Remove
"Yeah,
your
I'm
tongue
doing
from the
that."
roof of your mouth.
Yeah, just drop your shoulders and unclench your jaw, babe. Drink some water. Mm-hmm.
Drink some water and stop beating people around the head.
Stop beating people around.
Do you know
the
what I mean?
head.
It's just not good for you. It's
Sometimes
Sean
being-
has just Sean looks like a strike at the Thunderbird set just there now. Is what I can see.
Do you know somebody actually pointed this out? Right, I'm going to try and describe it, but I felt so called out.
Right.
And it was somebody had made a little video, and it's like me going about my life, and then it's obviously, I'm sorry again, ADHD meme, but it was like getting into bed, right, make my own business, and then I do the hand thing, and it's like, you know, being in bed and like curling your hand in on itself, or like, and I went, I do that.
I do that.
I do
And
that.
we're gonna have to cut that in and find him. It's like a vine, an old
like
vine.
T-Rex hands as well sometimes.
But you do it, and see, I think
do
I get
that.
rounded because I have a pillow. I have a huggy pillow.
A wee huggy pillow. But I do. But even whenever I with the hands under the
But you
pillow.
get into like fetal, like you bring your knees
yes,
up.
but I have to put one leg outside the covers.
Do you know that tarot of the hanging man, but like
Yes.
not hanging? You like he's got like a 1 foot out.
Hung man.
Hung man. Ew.
Lunchbox.
You got a rifle for your
But you know
lunchbox.
the way,
Show us
like,
your sandwiches.
This thing drives Kurt mad, but whenever I'm lying in bed, I do this thing, and it's like a stim where I lift my leg and drop it and lift it and drop it, you know,
Right.
onto the covers repeatedly. And it's
On the
like-
outside of the covers.
on the outside. And it's a stim because I like the feeling of like the cooler. He said to me one day, I never realised, he was like, "Why do you do that?" And I went, "What?" And he
am I
pointed
doing?
it out. And I do it, and it's like, I went, I don't know, I like the feeling of the cool cover hitting my foot, so I do it repeatedly. But I noticed that my baby does it, and I was like, is that nature or
Is
nurture?
that a sign?
He's going to be nuts too.
But
Welcome, you're
do you
part of the
love
club.
slipping in that cool bed? Like sometimes,
Yeah.
and you just feel the coldness of the bed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I actually have really curbed it, but when I was living in my flat and I was like absolutely just loving my life single, I would buy, this was my ritual, like every weekend when the baby went to his daddy's, I would go and buy myself new bed covers and new sheets, and I mean to the stage where I could have filled a few wardrobes with the bed
Just
covers
bed
that I had
covers.
because it was a thing. It was like I had to have new. But now actually,
What's the word that we use?
I'm
A
more-
voluptuary?
a voluptuary. That was a voluptuary, for me. But now I actually have a thing where I don't even want brand new. I want them just freshly washed.
Yes.
So I do. I'm a bastard for like.
It's
where
lovely
you
getting
just
into a
wash
clean
them, and
wardrobe.
I'm like, no, I like that.
This is self-care.
It is. It's self-care.
Leave me alone.
Yes. But then speaking of pugnacious,
Yes.
I think sometimes it serves you well to be a bit pugnacious.
I think I always feel like you need to let, as I've gotten older, I let people know how I am prepared to be spoken to by letting them know, no,
Yeah.
I'm not engaging with this.
Did you see that there was a wee meme recently, and it was like about a woman who comes up to leave cheese back, and she goes, "I spent $30
yes.
on this cheese, and there was a hair on it," and the girl goes, "I'm so sorry about that. You shouldn't have had to, do that. Here's a gift voucher." And also here's
Like
just
your
sort
money
it out
back,
right
and
away.
here's
your
a
money,
sample.
And here's just, and she goes, and she goes, "Sorry, did you want an argument?" And she was like, "Yeah, a little." And she's like, "Go on ahead." And they have this little argument. Sometimes you just need that argument.
Where's your receipt?
Some people do. I don't. I'm not. An
I don't like-
argumentative.
no, I
I'm not confrontational in terms of like service industries. Because
No.
I know what it's like.
Well, right, no, I'm not confrontational when it comes to service industries, but if I'm getting, like, I remember we went to New York and we were having
New
our
York.
Christmas dinner in Manhattan
Oh.
in the hotel that we were staying in, the Beekman Hotel, which was a really lovely, fancy schmancy hotel
Okay.
near the Tribeca area.
That was very good. You're too good.
I was like, have you seen that? Like, meme of like a girl like recently. It's like, so we moved to New York.
So we live in New York. The one was like, what's she called? Is she called Heavenly or
I can't
or
remember.
she's like, so we moved. So we're from New York. My uncle,
He's a heroin addict.
he's a heroin addict. He goes to Jehovah. Meanwhile, in the house, we're part of the mob. My mom's
It's
burning
like
the
me and my
meatballs.
first day of nursery.
It's very dysfunctional. It's
Yeah.
very dysfunctional. I love that person.
So the service industry.
But the service industry. So we were there. We were in New York. We were having our dinner. We had booked our table for 8:00. And we went there, no table, and people at the bar were getting served before us.
Okay.
And I was getting pissed off. As getting kind of like ignored annoys me. So I was sitting, and this little chickadee took us over to a table. which
Especially
was
in America, considering they just expect a tip. Like the
and
tip
they want.
culture there.
Well, do you know what? We were fuckers because I was like, do you know what? I hate.
What did you do?
I was like, excuse me, because at one point as well, like we came over, and the girl who was like serving us like stood on Alan's foot, and just stood on his foot while she was giving us the menus, and I was like, excuse me, I've been waiting for like an hour and a half for this table, and I hate this table.
Yeah.
We are sitting in that woman's lap. Like,
my
what type of
gosh.
what type of place is this? And you've been standing on my husband's foot the whole time. I was like, your customer service is
Oh my
pessimal.
God, I love angry pugnacious, David.
Pugnacious, I was like, it's pésimo, which is like, I don't even know if that's a word in English,
Oh
but
my
I don't know,
God.
because in Spanish it's es pésimo, which is like, it's the worst, it's
Yes.
pésimo. I was like, I don't know if it's pésimo a word in English, I don't know.
You're even cussing them out in different fucking languages.
Crossed them out in like language, like this, it's a Latinate
What did
fucking
she say?
cognate, so it's been me. And she kind of smirked at me, and I thought, oh, I tell you, oh my jeez. I'll trail you up fucking Lexington with the fucking hair extensions. You'd fucking...
Wait till you hear Barbara.
Listen, Barbara.
Yeah.
Barbara, I'm
Yeah.
not the one today, honey.
Yeah.
I'm not the one.
Not today,
Not
Satan.
today, Satan. So she was like, so we got us, and we went out, and then the guy came, and we went, and I was like, I was just so raged. I was like, do you know what? I'm so pissed off at this that I would rather spend my money in McDonald's than
Yeah.
give you a fucking cent.
Aye.
And then they got us a much better table, and the service was real quick, and we got this real nice waiter. And because I was being a cunt,
Aye.
we tipped them $100
Oh, really?
to sort of go.
Aren't you lucky? Aren't you glad you looked at
And then I looked over at the guy
my
because like, he
God.
must have been checking up. The maitre d' was checking up on like us and our food. I can't even remember. Do you know who was actually at that there? That was in that restaurant that night. Kush Jumbo. Do you know who is a British actress who was in The Good Fight, and she was also she was in what was she was in like a program. British actress. She went over to America and she's back over here. She was in one of those like Harlan Ellison things
Right.
on Netflix. Really good actress, but she was like, oh, look, she's over there. But just came over, and then I saw the maitre d' sort of like going over to the waiter to see like, you know, how did it go with them? It's because they were fucking pissed off, and I could see them like the waiter going, they tipped us $100.
Did you see?
I see him going $100.
Oh
like
my
I mouthed it
God.
as I got there.
Yeah. Because we fucking can.
And not by back.
You're feeling a wee bit voluptuary.
I was feeling voluptuary / pugnacious
Yes.
because I think I've maybe said this before. Boredom makes me angry. But my go-to emotion for boredom is anger.
Oh, really?
It's not like, I'm bored. I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I am bored. I need this to change or I am going to fucking
You're
blow
going to
up.
make me think about things that I don't want to think about.
You're stealing my fucking life.
Yeah.
I am going to kill you. I'm going to rack all around me. Do you love that
Imagine
one?
you as I'm going to rack all around.
See if I don't guess this doesn't change, I'm going to rack all around me.
Yeah, rack all around you. I actually really do like that because I imagine my sister racked all around her before on the way out of a bar, and I still
love it
to this day. Like there was a balloon arch and she tore it down and started like punching all the balloons and stuff. Like she was drunk, but I fucking love that story. And I was like, fair play to you, girl. She was like, fucking.
One of my best friends, Catherine from university, and we were in this bar, and like we'd got a table, and we'd gotten a table, and the table next to that was like a round table, and there was a wee space in the end for her just to be able to sit at that table and talk to us. But she sat down, and the people around it kept shuffling around like this here to push her off, and she kept banging in there and banging in there. And well, Catherine just couldn't take it anymore. So she stood up and she went, you know what? Fuck you. So she grabbed the guy's pint, threw it round him, then lifted another pint and threw it round his girlfriend. But I was like,
Can you imagine?
I was like, they fucking had it coming.
Oh my
They
God.
had it coming.
They had it coming. Try me.
Try me. Pints.
Yeah.
Pushing me around the table.
For some reason, I don't even want to drag anybody by telling who this phrase belongs to, but it is peck a window.
Peck a Wendy.
Peck a fuck.
Because you're going through it.
Because you're going out it.
Aye.
Yeah, you're going. Yeah, you know, that's
more
how
time.
you just knew this person was fucking pissed off. It was peck a window. Do you know what I mean?
My granny's was...
Giving you the choice, which was quite nice, you know?
My granny was, if I get the howl of you.
See if I get the howl of you.
If I get the howl of you. Do you know what I mean? And she did the thing with the hands, like that.
See, my ma would bite her hand, bite her finger, and I realised that I started biting my finger too, and that's whenever I realised that I needed to like go to therapy, trying to break. Don't provoke me to anger,
Don't push me.
or else you'll be in danger.
I get this thing where like the anger sort of creates this bottleneck in my throat where words don't come out, and I do this. You know, a laboured exhale.
Yes, a week.
And it's like I'm gathering myself. So I'm gathering myself so that once I've gathered myself, shit had better be sorted out.
Yeah.
Or my granny said, I'm going to read the Red Act.
We got the Red Days. Going to read you, or in my house, my ma, I'm about to tell you your fortune.
I'm going to tell you your fortune.
Yeah, my ma, see if we're talking about someone getting told their fortune, it means like, oh fuck, they got told.
They were told.
They were told their fortune.
Wait till I tell you.
And if you want
Yes.
to see something in the future, straight after this episode, please come over to our Patreon, where we will be doing dirty words.
Dirty words.
Dirty
talk.
words.
Dirty
Thank
talk.
you very
I want
much
you.
for
Thank you.
joining us this week, and we'll love you loads. Tell you we grand on the fast. Bye.